Okay, I'm gonna tell a story. Alright, so I'm gonna tell a story, but I think what I'm trying to convey, like, it can't even really be understood by people. I had a therapist, and I never wanted to have one. The whole reason I had one isn't even for the real reason I should have had one, and the whole situation was a waste of time. I hit my head when I was 14. I tried to go back to school. Then I got expelled for whatever I did on that day at school. It's actually what happened. Maybe it was for the 2 months that I was out of school after that day. It's like I really don't know. But after that, went to a few mental hospitals because my mom and family are assholes. And in that time, no one told any of the doctors I hit my head or, like no one believed me. And that was pretty annoying because I guess having all those scars, like I had a, 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 um, a cut on the back of my head, on my shoulder here, right? I had scratches on my legs, right? And I couldn't remember things. And apparently, none of that is enough evidence that someone may have hit their fucking head. People are fucking stupid, right? But at the time, I didn't know these things. And in fact, at the hospitals, my mom told me that I was gonna go to school. So I didn't know what to expect, on top of the fact that I thought they were holding me against my will. But instead, they were holding me for whatever people said I did, because that is all it takes for you to be admitted to a hospital. See, just to fast forward past all that, because I went to a lot of different hospitals. Like, there's even a story about this old guy that I met at a hospital, and then, like, 2 years ago, I met him again at a hospital. I didn't fucking remember him, and I don't think he remembered me. He was just like, you look familiar, right? Despite the fact that I was like the only kid in a mental hospital the first time he met me, just crying. Like, I was crying the whole time. Because I like, it was one of those points in times where I just keep waking up and I'm like, how did I get to school? And I go back to sleep and I wake up, hmm, who are all these old people? It's like that's what was going on there. But fast forward all that, I was at Crescent Pines. They starved me, they wouldn't let me shower, they kept me in a room for a while when I first got there. Like, with no food or anything. I was fucking starving. But eventually they said they forgot I was there, which is a pretty stupid fucking lie. Because, like, they sign you into these places. Like they have to go to every room and get people out in the morning. Like, they did everything on purpose. They were manipulative, terrible, garbage human beings. But I eventually got raped while I was there. A bunch of other bad things happened. Like, there's this girl. One time, we were in another room, and then we heard, right? And then we went to the room that they were in. And we were like, "What's going on in here?" And they tried to lie, and they were like, "Nothing happened." Oh, she sneezed. So, a lot of weird shit was going on there. But to get them to let me out, I just stopped eating even more. I stopped taking the medications, and I sat in their main room drawing sunsets. This is something, at the time, I had told them that I did this on my own time. No, I lied to them. I did it because if I did it while I was there enough, it would seem like I did it on a regular basis. But anyways, eventually they agreed to let me out, and my stupid mom agreed to take me to a therapist. I explained to them that I didn't need a fucking therapist because all my trauma, all my reasons for being upset, it came from them and being there with them. But anyway, originally, all I did was have a concussion before them, right? So it was just stupid. They didn't want to listen to me in the first fucking place. But eventually, I went to this stupid fucking therapist for 10 years. Her name was Dewana Swift. I liked her not for the therapy. She was nice. We never talked about we never talked about the hospital stuff, the mental hospital stuff, the Crescent Pine stuff, the rape, all that stuff, the girls getting molested, the babies getting tackled. They weren't babies. They were like maybe 8, 9, getting tackled. Right? Like we never talked about any of that stuff. And it was because she didn't want to. And it was like she would just tell me stupid stuff that I already knew, like be nice, be assertive, etc. Schedule your day, yada yada. Like it was bullshit. Told her the first day that I met her, first fucking day I met her, didn't want to do therapy. Pretty much everything she told me to do, I couldn't do it because I didn't have money, didn't have control over where I go, who I talked to. I couldn't decide anything for my health. I still can't decide anything for my health. And I never have been able to. And all this therapy, mental hospital bullshit, only made that worse. Because they wanted to brainwash me into believing I needed medication and into believing I'm bipolar or schizophrenic or whatever diagnosis they decide on whatever office I'm in on whatever day. At first, I took my meds because they said it would make things better. And I couldn't remember what had happened when I tried to go to school, so they would use that against me. They would say, well, what do you want to be like? Like, do you want to be like you now, or do you want to be like back then when you had to go to hospitals? Like, that's what they would tell me. So, what really made me completely reject medications was this, what I'm about to explain, what I'm about to talk about. Okay, so what really made me completely reject medication was this. I went to school taking medications. I failed out of college taking medications. I was in doctor's offices, barely able to stay awake, taking medications. Then one day, my mom's a stupid fucking paranoid person, so she started saying that she doesn't believe I'm taking my meds because of the time. It was at least 3 to 5 years ago. At that point in time, I wasn't taking my meds. So at that point in time, when she decided I wasn't taking my meds anymore, right? It's like this doctor guy, this dumbass bald dude, he fucking was like, oh, we could take a test to see if you're taking your medication. We give him a test, see if he's taking his medications. And she fucking agreed. She doesn't give a fuck about me. But he's like, in the degree of which she doesn't give a fuck, like, let me tell you the audacity of my mom. We, like, apparently, they would talk to her sometimes, right? And then they started telling her about medication she should take and shit. She's fucking stupid, so she tried it out. They told her that, oh, she's getting depressed because, I'm always sick, and, my brothers are sick, right? It's like they fucking start manipulating her too. Right? So this is how fucking selfish Cher dumbass is. That at the times when she's supposed to be fucking there to talk to them about me, they're going into all that bullshit. Right? Like she does not care about me at all. Like she was fine with doing that. And the test came back, and the test showed I was taking my medications. But because my blood wasn't saturated with enough of the medications, they just assumed that this meant I was not taking the medications. The only reason I would miss medications at the time was because at the time I would sleep so much with the medications I would miss a day, or I would take them late that day. It's like, you see what I'm getting at here? My mom didn't give a fuck. Because it's like, I was sleeping and shit. On top of the fact that I didn't have video games to play, I didn't have a lot of shit. I was doing nothing but taking medications and sleeping and shit. But anyways, they got to the point where mom would tell them that because I'm laughing and stuff, right? I need to take different medications, or I'm not drawing as much as I was anymore. Right? Like I should take more medications. Like, it was just very annoying. I mean, it's like, this is why I just stopped taking medications. Fuck these delusional ass people. So I stopped taking all of the medications. I eventually got heart failure, etc. But I'm gonna get back on point. Like, this is the reason this is about the therapist, right? It's like, after I got the therapist, it's like, hold up. There was a point where I was in a room with my mom and this dumbass named Tom, this dumb fuck. I had told them that I don't need the medications and all this shit, right? This is what I was talking about a little before, right? And then they gave me the therapist, so I went to this fucking therapist, right? But the reason this is about the therapist is because when I realized I was not gonna stop seeing this therapist lady, I did something that I do to get through school. I convinced myself that I could love her, you know? And when I'm in school, I convinced myself that I need it. So with the therapist, I just convinced myself that I love her. I did it how I do school. I have like this spot, I had this defibrillator thing. It feels like it's ripping through my chest. I think that's a fucking pimple. But anyways, I convinced myself that I would love her, but not in a normal way. It was pretty complicated. Like, I told her that I wanted to take her on a date, right? Which is like, on her part, she should have shut it down then. She should have been like, no, like, I'm your therapist. You know what I mean? But no, she was like, okay, we'll see how this goes. But anyways, right? Like, I sang to her once, right? Like, I would ask her about her life, her family, right? It's like, we would play frisbee outside, right? It's like, we would sit on this little swing chair thing together. Just tons of fucking shit. And it's like, I drew pictures of her. Like, I even wrote a poem one time. And like, we would go in a room and do art and shit. She came to one of my soccer games while I was in high school. One time during COVID, she was describing to me how her house looked over the phone. It's like this is time I should have been having with a real woman, not a stupid fucking therapist. I tried to tell her how I felt, and she just said that it was inappropriate. But she cried when it was the last times we talked. And it's like, I miss her now, you know what I mean? Because I thought I was Like I thought if we stayed together after therapy, we would be able to be together. You know what I mean? I tried to explain her these things, but she didn't care, and I told her that I can't even tell her how I feel about her. Then what the fuck is the point of this therapy? I didn't mean to tell her this so she could follow through and we could get married and all this bullshit. Like she was so fucking stupid. But I miss her. It was 10 fucking years that we spent time together and all this shit. After I stopped seeing her, which felt like a complete goddamn waste of 10 years, I had a weird dream of a person crying, and I saw some pants on the ground. Then the person picked up the pants, pulled out a phone that that I had not seen. Like I saw these pants. I never seen these pants in a long time. They were pants I owned. The phone was a phone that I had. Never seen a phone in a long time. And then the person started telling me to call her. Call Duana. Please. The person was fucking crying. I woke up with so much of the cry feeling. Like, you know that cry feeling? Like when you're crying? Not when you're about to cry, not when you have cried, but the cry feeling when you're crying, right? And then I woke up, I had that feeling, and I could barely fucking breathe. Did I call her after I woke up? Almost. I fucking almost did it. Almost fucking cried her. I almost fucking called her. The person crying in that dream, like that was me. A younger version. So you know what I did? I killed him. The next time I saw him in those dreams, I killed him. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But I had to rub myself, and I told myself she was a stupid bitch. Like if she cared about you, she would have called you because I still wanted to talk to her too. But I never told her I don't want to talk to her. I never told her that, and she's the one who said that we should stop doing the therapy. And he's like, I wanted to be with her, you know, I wanted to talk with her and stuff, you know what I mean? And actually, she had called me one time and she was like crying on the phone and shit. And it's like at that point, I had told her, like, you can't do your job. And she was like, are you trying to tell me how to do my job? And it was like, I had told her that I was young, right? Delusional, because I was young, all this type of shit. Why can't she be the one telling me this shit? She's the fucking therapist. Yeah, and it was a lot more than that I said, but it's like, it was a waste of time. And I wasn't telling her it was a waste of time because she was a waste of time. No, I liked her, I loved her, etc. I was telling her it was a waste of time because I can't even fucking tell her how I feel without her being like, maybe we should stop doing this, David. Maybe we should stop seeing her. So, bitch, it's been 10 years. Why do I want to stop seeing you? Because I have feelings for you. But, anyways, like, there's no better way to end this. Right? Like, that's pretty much it. Right? It's like, I miss my therapist. And I guess this is the time I fell in love with my therapist. It's, that's it. Would I be opening? Oh, would I be open to talking? Would I be open to talking to my therapist or my old therapist again? Fuck yes. But the thing is, like, she has relationships, she has her own life, and all this other stuff. It's like I was just a client. I was never anyone to her. You know what I mean? It's like this. Like this is the main reason I didn't want to do therapy in the first fucking place. Turns out, 10 years later, how old was I? 14, 15? 15-year-old me was correct, and that's fucking sad. It's like, what are you to do when you're smarter than all the fucking adults in your life. But that's the end of the video.